Welcome back to another video, guys. As you can see, I have upgrades. I have this new microphone in, and we're streaming on a better streaming thing that I use because I used GeForce. Now we're just using a better stream. Well, it's OBS. Like everyone uses OBS nowadays, but I didn't really know how to use OBS at the start. So now we're here with proper knowledge and understanding in OBS and how to actually record things properly for you guys. Now, for the episode, we are going to be speaking regarding the comps and everything, and like how the Olympics went and everything. But the first topic of today is blind lawyer climbs 24 mountains in 24 hours. This is very impressive considering he's blind, and I don't even think people like normal people could do this or like on their own. This is some supernatural type stuff. Blind lawyer climbs 24 peaks in 24 hours. So that just means he climbed a mountain every 1 hour. Michael Smith from Finsbury Park, North London, was guided by his work colleague Jack Stacey over the Cumbrian peaks to raise near 140,000 euro for Seeability, the sight loss charity that has supported him. This is very cool. This is something he obviously stands for and he wants to improve is Seeability. This is the community that helped him get through a tough challenge and obviously paid off because he actually completed it. Very good. Mr. Smith, 33 years old, lost 90% of his sight at age 19. Wow. So when he was basically my age, he lost 90% of his sight. That's really hectic. Wow. Wow. So kudos to this guy. I don't even think I would be able to complete this challenge that he's done. Very cool. And we have some Japan news. There's a new climbing facility in. Okay, I'm going to say this wrong. I know I'm saying this wrong already. Ya ya Yama Yamagata. In exclusive sport climbing facility which includes people with disabilities among its staff, opened in Sage Yamagata prefecture earlier this month, with walls 17 meters high. It is one of the largest indoor climbing facilities in the country. This facility includes a variety of areas for people of all skill levels to enjoy. Sick. This looks really interesting. And I love seeing new climbing places come out and see what type of styles they do with the walls and how they and what type of volumes they use. You see how they use two holes on one, where you can like screw a hole onto another bigger hole. Very cool. Very cool. So obviously we know Mount Fuji. That's been on the channel a few times. Now this is more of a notification for people who would like to climb it. So Mount Fuji climbing season ends on Tuesday, basically. So on Tuesday is the last day you can climb Mount Fuji. The station was blanked in fog in the morning, but visitors were seen arriving to enjoy the last day or coming down after watching the sunrise. So Mount Fuji is currently closed for hiking, climbing, etc. Yeah, so if you want to climb Mount Fuji, I think you need to wait a couple of months before it opens again. So if you are hoping to climb Mount Fuji, lately, just know it's closed. With the Olympics that has passed, there was a lot of complaints by the climbers tuning. It was too hard, too reachy, and so on. And the route setters think these criticisms are unfair, which, as a route setter, you need to look at who you're setting for, especially if you're setting for children. I know when I was setting, we were setting for children and we set way too hard. Like, I remember the competition we set way too hard. And that always happens, especially with children. And if like adults set for them, it's always going to be too hard for majority of them. And you obviously get the better climbers who do them, like the climbers that are in the teams and whatever. But the people who are there just to for the vibes and for the comp, they're obviously going to struggle because they're going to feel like it's too hard, it's too reachy, I'm too short for this climb. And I can understand that 100% because route setters need to set for the majority. They can't just set for the good climbers. Obviously, we need the competition to have good results and show who actually is the better climber and put hard routes in. But having almost all the routes be impossible for the almost, let's say, average Joe climber, it's kind of disrespectful to them because they're gonna get there like psyched out, ready for the climbs, and once they get on the climbs, they're not gonna be able to do them. Imagine you get to a whole competition, you have 4 boulders that you have to do, and you don't even get one bonus on any of those. So I agree that route setters need to actually they need to see who they're setting for. If they're setting for the youths, they need to scale it down, and you need to make it so that short people could do it. If you're tall, you can't be able to just skip the whole thing. So it's a very finicky thing. I understand it's a very finicky thing because I've been there, but there needs to be some knowledge based on what type of routes you set. You can't set too hard for kids. You have to actually set what doable ones. And obviously there has to be now and again there has to be a hard move inside the boulder or inside the lead route, but you can't have it consistently be hard through the whole competition. There has to be a few boulders where almost everyone should send, and you'll get the stronger climbers who would flash the routes, and they would obviously get more points for that. And that's just how it is. But still, you need to have routes be able to be sendable for the weaker climbers. It can't be just pure strength, pure power, just power through it. There has to be obviously technical moves in the climb and whatever. But setting for one type of climber and setting for only the good climbers is unrealistic, and I feel it just ruins the sport a little bit because we're there to have fun, we're there to climb, and obviously people at the Olympics, we're trying to find the best climbers. So people at the Olympics complaining, that's kind of you're there, you're all there, you're the best of your countries, you need to perform, and saying it's too hard, it's too reachy, these are probably the best setters in the world setting for you, and you saying these types of stuff. It's understandable obviously, but it's you are the best of the best in the Olympics, so complaining is not an option right now. You just need to take it. It's out of your control. Now in Britain, we have a hosted national tree climbing competition, which is really it's becoming like a thing nowadays. Is tree climbing, and there's this one guy. he almost acts like a an ape almost. And I don't remember, I don't know his name, I completely forgot, but he was on a video with Magnus, and he showed him how, he can walk on his like hands like a proper monkey. This man was a monkey, and how he climbs barefoot the trees and how he actually does it. It was very impressive. And going into new sports and stuff, making new sports like this is really cool because it uses natural environment, and you're not destroying it. You're more like admiring it, if anything. So I really like this new competition type thing where they're making a tree climbing competitions, you know, 18 meters up, which is amazing. And I think it's a new type of sport, almost. And I like how they're doing it. It's really cool. It's really cool. Now we have Mount Kilimanjaro, and people are encouraging others to actually come climb this beautiful mountain. It's obviously the biggest freestanding mountain, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I think it is the largest freestanding mountain, and you know, it's just a beautiful climb. It's very icy, obviously, because it's Mount Kilimanjaro, but it really tests you as a human being, I would say, because it's more of a you battle up there, if anything, and it really gets the best out of people climbing mountains, especially if it's your first time. You really find yourself and see who you are, because if you get halfway, you can obviously turn back and go back and just like give up almost, but you're halfway. You already made it halfway. You're not gonna ruin it by like going back all the way down, and you could have, like, if you use that energy just to go up, camp, and then come back down, you could do it easily, because going down is much easier than going up, because you have gravity on your side, obviously. But climbing Kilimanjaro is more of a mental thing than a physical thing. Obviously there's physical um, parts to it, but more of a mental game, if anything. That's what everyone said. Everyone who's climbed any sort of mountain would say it's more your mental thing. It's more of a mental battle than you know a physical battle, because your body can for sure handle it, you know. But you're up there. You don't want to be there. You don't want to continue going. But there's something in there that makes you go and keeps going, and that's the beauty of climbing. You never want to stop. You just want to keep going, and you want to actually complete it, and you get the goal, and see the beautiful, beautiful peak. See the view from the top. That's the goal. That's the dream life right there. So you know, I feel Britain has started, well, more England in a general has started to see more of a popularity in climbing, since their climber actually won both lead and bouldering, which was very surprising. I'm not gonna lie. Out of all the competitors, I did not think he would make it, but we move on. We have a skate park climbing wall. So in Hammock Grove, there's planned for a climbing wall to be set up, which is sick. Which is sick, especially at like a skate park. I've always dreamed of that. That would be sick. Having a skate park next to the climbing wall, dude. Just quickly go to the skate park, skate around with your friends, and you take one of your mates, go climb the lead wall, whatever. Very adrenaline based thing. That's quite cool. I don't know how the wall's going to look. They don't show any of it, but um, it's very exciting for people in Hammock Grove. So good luck with you guys. Hopefully they set well. Hopefully they do the route setting correctly. And this is a topic. This is the next topic I'm going to speak about. Is it's not on climbing news, but it's just a topic that I want to speak about. We had the youth awards, and a lot of people were disappointed, and they were obviously they saying the routes were too hard, they were too reachy, and so on. But we're in a time where we are just going past the plateaus of what we can do and what we can't do nowadays, and it's very impressive to see these young climbers come into the scene, being able to do 9As, 8Bs, doing all these insane hard routes. And, like 10 years ago, kids their age wouldn't be able to even do a 6B. So we're at such a new era in climbing that we have such strong climbers, and we're pushing past the barrier. We keep making the barrier higher and higher and higher, making the standard higher and higher and higher. And I think it's really good for our sport, especially with the monetization, obviously, for just to make a living. Obviously, I'm making climbing videos. I'm going to make climbing videos on this YouTube channel. I have an Insta based on climbing. If you guys would like to follow that, it's down in the description. Much appreciated. But it's a new era for climbing, I feel, and it's taking off, and especially with all these new climbers in Britain and in England coming in the scene and making new climbing walls and all of that. It's just making it's just putting eyes on the climbing community, and it's helping monetization. And obviously we're in a consumerism type world nowadays, but we can't get past that. That's how the world is. And just having more eyes on the sport just puts more money into the climbing community, and being able to create new walls, creating new boulders, creating new gyms. It's just putting more money into you know our hands to actually create these new and new experiences for new climbers. Because every climbing wall is a different experience. Every climbing wall has a different beta. Every climbing wall is unique in its own way, and I think it's just good for our sport, especially for new climbers to see all these new routes being set. And where we're at now, it's just I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think it's really good for our sport. And we had spoken about Mount Kilimanjaro. Now there is this absolute astonishing story of a double amputee climber that actually climbed Kilimanjaro. Now this is just impressive, honestly. She lost her right and her both right leg and her arm, both right side. And climbing Kilimanjaro, or with both feet, is obviously still impressive, and both hands is still very impressive. But climbing with like one arm and one leg, and with prosthetics on, is wow. It's just that's a different feat. And yeah, here's a photo of her just celebrating. It's just something else. Raised and a climb raised more than 10,000 euros for Stand, a charity helping amputees in conflict zones in developing countries. She hopes to raise 25,000 euros. This is just, I love how us as climbers, we're always giving back to communities, because whenever a climber goes through a traumatic experience, as in if they fall off a mountain, they get very injured. They break their back almost, let's say, and they feel hopeless at a stage. But then they have these charities that help them out of, and that it gives them a second chance, at finding who they are again. Because sometimes when you get down to a bad state, you kind of lose yourself, and having these climbers conquer that fear of going back out there, trying and actually becoming who they feel they are, and showing the world what they can do, and actually giving back to the community, especially the community that helped them. It's inspiring almost. It's very inspiring. So that is basically climbing news for the week. We didn't have much news. There wasn't any deaths that I know of, which is fantastic. I always love to see no deaths in the week from climbing related injuries. Um, but yeah, a very inspiring week, and hopefully next week we can get some uh, more news like this, because I hate to speak about deaths on mountains, and it's not nice to see climbers die. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this episode was you took something from this episode. Hopefully you learned something new. And yep, keep watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified when I upload the next climbing news, or when I upload a climbing video. I want to upload a climbing video, but I'm not too sure on how I'm going to do it and what I'm going to post about. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much.